everybody, and welcome to another Kerfuffle showcase here. Delighted to have Sam Zawodowski from LeadPro. How are you, Sam?
Very well, thank you, Simon.
Looking, that's a very zen room. It's calming. It's already from this slightly hectic green screen I've got here. You've got I can imagine you sat back there thinking innovative thoughts on that couch.
You've got a pink-blue clash going on here.
It's amazing how often I clash with people, Sam, but that's a separate thing. Sam, today we're really pleased to have you obviously on the platform. You've been a company that obviously many people will know, but today we're treating this as if we haven't heard of you, so we're going to get to forgive all of the basic questions. I really want to make sure we don't leave anyone unsure of what you guys are about. And I think it's fair to say, we've spoken about this offline previously, you do want to kind of reposition it, don't you? Because obviously as we start off, we do quite a narrow, we have a narrow role and responsibility. And genuinely where LeadPro is going now is it's quite an exciting area. It's actually a platform, isn't it?
It's spot on, yes. It's really all about helping agents grow market share. And that marketing platform is not trying to give them 5 different dashboards to log into, but just one platform that is really going to optimize their growth, help them get more vals booked in.
Perfect. Well, you had my attention. You had me at market share. I'm obviously a bit of a sucker for that. So hopefully we can double down on that. And I'm going to do something, Sam, a bit unusual. As I said, I'm not known for my professionalism here. I'm going to start this off unusually with reading out straight away from one of the reviews on the website, because I think it's important for the people viewing, obviously, if they're going to give us their time, energy, what they're sticking around for. I can't think of a better way of justifying why they should pay some attention to the next few minutes listening to you talk about the service. So this is, again, whenever we talk about this, make sure you go to kerfuffle.com, go to LeadPro on there in the search, see their landing page, see the reviews, see further information, and indeed you'll be able to see these recordings and future ones on there as well. But Ben Churchill from Harry Harper Sales and Lettings left a 5-star review, title, amazing bit of kit, has helped us grow and work smarter, not harder. I've been using LeadPro now for 5 years and it keeps on getting better and better. It has A, saved us loads of time by pre-qualifying our incoming leads. It's B, identified vendor leads, landlord leads and mortgage leads. Being only a small independent agency, we didn't think LeadPro would make a massive difference for us. But since the 1st of January 2021 until the 3rd of June 2021, it has generated 84 conveyancing leads, 83 landlord leads, 176 mortgage leads, and 179 valuation leads. And this is all using the automated lead responder. The new auto caller tool has helped us maximize on the new leads by enabling us to get on the phone to them instantly. Highly recommended. Now, if I'm honest, Ben, you've let yourself down there right there. Highly recommended doesn't do that justice. Sam, you have my attention. Those lead stats absolutely, justify that. Just talk us through how you're able to achieve this for your clients.
Yeah, sure. So we've got an array of tools, and they're really about trying to generate valuation leads, so identify brand new valuation leads, and then help the agents move those down the sales funnel and get them converted through to a valuation being booked. It splits into a couple of different components. At the very top of the sales funnel, we're looking at taking every single viewing inquiry from the agent's own website, from the portals. As soon as the email inquiry comes in, we want to send them a branded reply acknowledging the inquiry. And we then want to send them a questionnaire to pre-qualify them. So that's kind of got a couple of different aspects to it. It's great brand experience, showing off the agent's brand straight away 24/7. It's giving the negotiators an idea of why the person's moving. So when they do speak to them, they've got loads of context and they can have a great quality conversation. And most importantly, for market share growth, it's seeing if that person has a house to sell or a house to let. And in particular for multi-branch agents, it's seeing if the house that they have to sell or to let is in a different postcode patch and belonging to a different office and needs automatically routed through to that office. So to summarize that first component there, it's about converting viewing inquiries into valuation inquiries.
Excellent. So one of the key things I've been highlighting for some time is I don't think that agents per se are desperate for new leads. They have been absolutely swamped with the ability to deal with those leads. Isn't that one of the chief reasons that your tools have become so popular?
I definitely think it has helped. There's a move to more inquiries coming outside of office hours, which is pretty important. And it's probably a slight case of not being able to see the wheat for the chaff. Agents are so busy, sometimes it is hard for them to be asking these questions like, do you need mortgage advice? I see that you're buying this property as an investment. Are you looking for a full managed service? You've got a house to sell, we're the Cambridge office, but you're moving from Oxford. Do you want to speak to the Oxford team? So having a safety net of a software system that is tagging and identifying all of that for you automatically, and it's highlighting this person wants mortgage advice, make sure you book them in with a broker. Or this person is buying as an investment, they're a landlord lead, speak to them about, a full managed service. Or this person has to sell their house before they can buy. They've not listed it on the market yet. This is a perfect opportunity for you to book an evaluation. So it is about helping just pre-qualify and deal with the volume of leads, but it's also a triage to see where there's hidden business inside those viewing leads, because the agents are paying the portals vast sums of money for this lead data. Yeah. And then we really want to help them make sure that they get every penny's worth out of the lead data.
Every agent should be all over that, shouldn't they, really? I mean, I have some sympathy for, just to make myself a bit more unpopular with the portals, because the agents do quite rightly criticize some of them for all the best reasons there, but they leave so much, as they say, on the table, don't they, in terms of opportunities. And I think one of the most dangerous descriptions I've ever heard is that, which we've heard all, many times, it's a common phrase, but tire kicker. That's a tire kicker lead. Oh, they were just time wasters there. The minute you start immediately labeling people like that, all you do is guarantee that they will definitely be tire kickers, don't you? Because they, as you talk about it before, they don't even get into the funnel, and speed of response is absolutely everything, isn't it, in terms of the showing the propensity to engage?
It's really about the human component, because there's two extremes to the business. On the one extreme, you've got an email inbox that the agent is snowed under with so many viewing leads, sales viewing leads, lettings viewing leads, can't see the woods from the trees, and they're just trying to get the properties sold and let, and they're struggling. And at the other side, you've got too much automation where people are just booking in for viewings and you know nothing about them. You've never spoken to them. You don't know they've got a house to sell. You don't know when they need mortgage advice. So I think the concept of the LeadPro platform is getting rid of your email inbox, not automating it too much, and just helping you get your team as much information as possible and as clearly laid out as possible, so you can really work those leads, work the hot, high value leads, and really help people, because it's about people at the end of the day. It's a people business. Yeah.
So although you've got elements of automation, you've got the ability to digitize the journey for people, you're still not talking about, a lot of the time people hear that and think that that's depersonalizing the service. That's very much not what you're talking about here, is it?
Our users will still be calling every single applicant, or as much as they have the capacity to call, as long as the applicant's requirements meets them. But it's about grading. So let's take a lettings leader as an example. Yeah. You have a property on the market to let ASAP. You have someone who wants to move in 6 months. They're not a good fit. If you can find that out before you need to call them, absolutely brilliant. But it's usually more about making it easy for the negotiators in branch to feel confident about speaking about other business opportunities. So when you're a negotiator and you're on the phone to a viewing inquiry, often it doesn't feel comfortable to try and upsell and find out if they want mortgage advice or dig into whether or not they have a house to sell. If you've already got that information available, it's really easy to bring that up in conversation and say, I see that you've not got a mortgage arranged yet and you want some advice. While I'm on the phone, shall I book you in with our broker? So it's about also making it easy for the staff, easy for the human component to actually manage the leads. And the stats on these are, in general, the stats are very good. So almost a third of all sales viewing inquiries will be interested in mortgage advice. A little over 20% will have to move before they can buy. Now, in reality, far more have to move before they can buy, but over 20% will say on the questionnaires, they'll disclose that they have a house to sell, they'll provide the postcode of it. And we saw a real increase last year. So while the stock market was falling, the number of buy-to-let investment leads was shooting up. So it was almost 12% of sales inquiries last year were landlords. And these are the hardest to find lead type. You know, they're like hen's teeth. So if you're finding that your sales viewing inquiries are people buying to let, then it's a natural feedstock of landlord leads to the letting book in your business. So it's a huge opportunity to manage these leads from a slightly different perspective, really looking at the holistic, the whole person. What do they need, not just to get in the door and view the property?
Those are some really interesting and engaging, stats. I mean, they're just, you think about what that means against your own leads that you're getting into the business, and if you can trap that effectively and deal with those effectively, what the bounce would be in terms of business. What can you tell us in terms of, I mean, from my old days in the CRM sphere, we were pretty blown away when we started looking at, the times that people were logging into some of our portals and things like that. I mean, obviously there's been a trend to people accessing services out of hours anyway, but can you give any more context around that in terms of the, just how much there is that kind of necessity to be able to cater for that?
Oh, it is fascinating because, as you say, it's really becoming a 24/7 world. So, for example, with our instant online valuation tool, we have got some great case studies where people have done an online valuation at 9 p.m. on a Sunday, and then they've requested a physical in-person valuation at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday the following week. You've got to be available for business 24/7, because people will be online wanting to get a valuation of their house or wanting to do a viewing request in their free time when they're available. It is well over. So the stats that are probably better to quote than per viewings, in fact, I think this is a repeat stat. 55% of viewing inquiries are sent outside office hours, and we see pretty much identical in our data. We're handling a few million leads a year now, and the majority are coming outside office hours. What we are also seeing is agents are starting to stretch their office hours, particularly the larger agents. They're putting in overflow call center teams. They're doing longer hours. They're working on weekends. So there is sort of a shift towards satisfying that demand.
And you mentioned a very well-known CRM there. Where do you start? Where do they end and you start? Because there's a certain, some of the CRM, most of the CRMs, let's be honest, have some kind of lead management system there. So I suppose that's one question: is first of all, why do people who have those CRM systems need it? And then secondly, I suppose, is does that create a problem in the rollout? Is the setup and integration difficult? Just talk us through how you tie together with a key element of the tech stack.
Yeah, that's a really wonderful question. So you've got your huge spend with the portals to, put your properties up on the marketplace. A lot of agents are also paying for Rightmove local valuation alerts. Highly competitive, 5 agents all getting sent the same valuation lead instantly. You've got the Supplier appraisal boosters, exactly the same, going out, I think, sometimes to 7 agents, all covering the same postcode. So that's the first part of your marketing stack, is lead generation. And then you've got your CRM, which is doing the operations. So this is, e-signing, compliance, and checking, deposit collection, the whole shebang, moving to conveyancing. And in the middle, nearly all agents have got their email inbox. So they've got this, unsearchable, untrackable, complicated black hole where they've got email and a telephone system. And what they're trying to do is take all of the portal lead data, manage it, find the good ones, and then book them into the CRM for progression. So we do not compete with or take away from the CRMs at all. We firmly sit in the middle, and we replace where agents want, replace the email inbox. And we also have the telephony tool to ensure that leads are getting called straight away as well. So we're looking at all of the marketing that you've paid for in that lead generation, helping you sift through that, making sure things don't fall through the cracks, being able to track team performance, also being able to quality score which sources are bringing you the best quality leads, which is quite interesting market intelligence that some agents have never seen before. And then they only put the progressible stuff in the CRM. So instead of the inbox being the filter, where it's hard to, I mean, for example, inside LeadPro, you can assign leads to negotiators. You can see the speed of response of an office. You can see the conversion score of an office. You can break that down by lead type. You can't do any of that in your email inbox. It's just lost. You can see who needs followed up with in 2 or 3 days' time because you couldn't reach them on the phone. I also think that in the marketing stack, where we fit this quite nice is we also have lots of integrations with tons of third-party softwares, you know, Zapier, MailChimp, Drip, Autopilot. So there is a huge opportunity for nearly all agents out there that when they're getting particularly valuation leads, the conversion time of those can be, you know, 100 days. It can be months and months and months. And if you just call them up 3 times and say, do you want a valuation? They're not ready. They're not interested. They're at the start of their journey. You need to put in some remarketing so that in 3 months' time or 2 months' time, when they actually have decided they definitely want to sell, that they're ready to speak to you and they come back to you. And I think that that's another sort of black hole where the portals aren't doing that for you. Your CRM doesn't do that for you. You need this piece of your marketing stack that is ensuring that every lead is responded to. I mean, gosh, we've got case studies where an agent's service level agreement to respond to a lead was on average 48 hours, you know, just overwhelmed with leads. They get a new system that isn't their email inbox that's fast and easy, and we get down to 80% of leads being responded to within 30 minutes. So just like a revolution of the process of their business of taking leads and qualifying them and progressing them and nurturing them and then moving them into the CRM when the val's booked, the viewing's booked, or they're registered and they want alerts on other properties that are available.
So you'll see it yourself. Any conversation with agents will quite often get round to somebody looking wistfully off into the distance and decrying the death of the hot box and everything else. And you know that way that they could tangibly feel the strength of interest and everything else there, and how that's somehow been lost with these EDM systems or CRM systems. What I love about your approach there is that actually, and to, you know, qualify those properly, you can rather than just have a mass in your CRM system of, you know, cold, semi-cold, the odd Glengarry, Glen Ross hot lead in there as well. You can pretty much trust all the stuff that's going in there is not that rubbish in, rubbish out analogy, isn't it?
Yeah. A perfect example here of where the platform can pay dividends. If you're currently managing your leads in your email inbox or in your CRM, and you have a lettings viewing request, or you have a Rightmove local valuation alert, how are your team to know which is the one they should prioritize? You know, they just look exactly the same on email lines. They just look exactly the same inside your app importer. They're just another lead, and you just naturally go through top to bottom chronological order. Whereas we know that those Rightmove local valuation alerts are going to 4 of your competitors. And if you're the last person to call and speak to that vendor, they're not going to book an evaluation with you because they've already got 2 booked in with the first agents that spoke to them. So one of the things that it's about doing is properly triaging your leads and saying, hang on a minute, you've paid Rightmove for this local valuation alert. Do not prioritize it as the same way as a lettings viewing where you have 50 inquiries for the same property. We need to make this lead call through to your office straight away. We need your team member to be picking up the phone, speaking to this lead, getting it booked in. And we want to track all that so we can track your response time, track your conversion time. And we see when people start to turn on the telephony tool, particularly if they just want to one of the neat things that we do is you don't have to turn it on for everything. So you don't have your phone ringing for a lettings viewing lead. You don't even have to have it just ringing for a valuation lead. You can say, I only wanted to call from Rightmove local valuation alerts. And that means the creme de la creme, or by and large, most agents, the very best converting valuation leads are from their own website, where someone's gone onto their website and requested a valuation. And once again, you just want your team to be speaking to those people straight away. So having a system in place that delivers that for you takes you out of the black hole inbox or the black hole CRM importer that's not really designed for this, and instead focuses your entire business on growth and getting new valuations booked in. That's why we get such good results.
And again, I appreciate you're quite biased, but that's absolutely fine. Sam, that's really, really useful to do. I'll tell you what I'd like to do to you. I'd like to have a chat with a few of your clients as well, how this has helped them in the coming months. Really always useful to hear from those guys. But for the moment, thanks for enlightening us. I think obviously we've known each other. I've known about LeadPro over the years. I think what's fascinating is to see where it's come, doing a really, really good job in quite a narrow area, though, into what is genuinely a marketing platform now, isn't it? That's really, really exciting from not just your point of view, but from any agents that want to, want to rationalize the amount of suppliers that they have, and really be able to look at those. A lot of people talk about having too many eggs in one basket, but if you've got the right basket, it's 10 times easier.
Spot on.
Cheers, Sam. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Yes, bye-bye.